you're not getting to experience the parks, our beautiful parks, where you can leave your campsite early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when they open the gates, and you go stand next to a waterhole. You pick a waterhole and you reverse with that beautiful back view that we've got with almost 270-degree view.
Yeah.
And you take your time, you make breakfast, you make coffee, you can sit and relax. I mean, one of the highlights is just taking your time at a waterhole and waiting for nature to come to you.
We're James and Rob, and this is our dog Oscar. It's a really steep learning curve when you start your motorhome, campervan or caravan journey, and there is lots that we wish we had known. So we decided to document what we have learned and share with you our adventures as we head out on the road again. I was fortunate enough to be able to spend some time with Dennis Bouwers, who is the co-owner of Bobo Campers and also the co-owner of Motorhome World. They're the rental arm and the sales arm of their motorhome and campervan business. In this first of a two-part series, you get to meet Dennis, hear a bit about their history, and I ask him some of those burning questions about safety and what it's like to rent a campervan or a motorhome in South Africa, where you would go and stay, and we also get to have a look around a typical rental campervan. And then in the second part of the series next week, we're going to look at the manufacturing side of their business, and we're going to show you how they build campervans, motorhomes, both for the South African market but also for the export market, mainly to Australia as well. So let's go and meet Dennis and let's get on with today's show.
So yeah, Bobo Campers was the rental company that was the first when we started the whole motorhome business, 1991.
Wow,
yeah,
it's been around a long
it's been
time.
a while. Yeah, so we're the oldest, the oldest independent motorhome rental company in Southern Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents started it. They started in Durban, 91. And it's grown since then. Me and my brother are running it now. They're up in Joburg, the two of them, and I'm down here in Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the lucky one.
So you do both sales and rentals then?
Oh yeah. So it started off with the rental company Bobo, and around 99, 2000, we had a need for a different motorhome, and the current supplier of motorhomes at that stage wasn't very talkative and wasn't very good to tell us, to do changes for what the rental industry needed.
Yeah.
So my dad and me, we had a chat to see if we can do it ourselves, and my brother. And we decided, let's try it. Let's build one ourselves and see if we can build what we really need. And we did it. We did it. Long story short, about 2 years later, we had two prototypes on the road. And from that, we looked at the costing. We decided, let's build our own. And that's when Motorhome World started off. So we made it two separate companies. So Motorhome World is the factory, which produces motorhomes. About 50% of the production goes to the rentals, and the rest of the 50% will get sold to local market.
Right. Okay. So you only manufacture. You don't sell other brands as well, then?
We don't. Yes, we do. We have an import rights for Detlefs, which is a German company.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
We did some of that as well when the rand exchange rate was still able to do it. At the moment, exchange rate just prices the German product completely out of the market.
Yeah, it's good for us, not good for you.
Yeah, so we had a demand for more integral motorhomes into the country, which we didn't want to do as a factory. So we got in touch with Detlefs, and we imported quite a few of that, and Caravans as well.
Okay.
So which was successful at the time, but the exchange rates just somehow completely killed that.
And
so,
who is your typical customer?
On the rental side.
Or both sides, yeah.
Okay. So the rental side is mainly 95% tourists.
Right.
And explain to you why they're not here at the moment. Yeah. So we're hoping that will turn around very quickly, because we do miss them.
Yeah.
We do miss our European customers.
Hopefully it's changing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So we managed to get here.
Yeah, but from a not just from a company point of view, but from a country point of view. I mean, obviously we missed them. The whole tourism industry is taking a massive knock in this country.
Yeah, and of course I guess it's your main.
We want you guys back. A mess.
So let me just ask you some probably annoying questions that I know that our viewers are going to be thinking. I've been to South Africa this is probably my 6th trip and my 6th time of spending a
Nice.
month here. And of course, a lot of my friends back home say, yeah, but Rob, is it safe? And so, a lot of people are going to be asking that same question about renting or owning a camper here. So what's your view on that? And also tell us a little bit about where people typically stop for the night.
So from a rental point of view, customers have been coming here since 91. And we had, how many thousands of rentals did we have over that period? In 2019, we had a fleet of over 110 vehicles. So,
Wow.
although in European and other countries, it's not a large number from a fleet point of view. But for South Africa, it was the largest fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And for that 27, 28 years, where we now, the amount of incidents we've had from a security point of view, I probably can count on my hand.
Yeah, it's probably the same as the UK or anywhere else.
More probably happens in the UK than will happen here. South Africa's bad perception,
Yeah.
it happens in densely populated areas like Joburg and towns. And typically, if you are coming to rent a motorhome, you're not going to camp for a week inside a Johannesburg or inside a Durban. You're out. You're in the fields. You're in all our beautiful parks. You're driving our beautiful nature routes, and the size of South Africa is so large. The whole Western Europe is the size of South Africa.
I know, it's great.
It's huge. The Kruger National Park is the same size in square meter as Holland.
Wow.
So there's how many? 17, 18 million people in Holland. So the typical customer doesn't go to any of the areas where there's potential for you to have an issue.
Yeah.
From a safety point of view, there is absolutely no concern. But I'm biased, but I'm also being a realist.
Yeah, and I know that's a frustrating question because it's a frustrating question when people ask me about it.
I'm sure.
But I know that that's what people think, and I always say, last time I was here, I wrote an article about how South Africa needs to get better at doing its own PR because it's crazy to, I'm here on my own at the moment, and I'm more than happy to be walking where I'm staying in Greenpoint. It's safe to walk around and to be at night, but South Africa just needs to do better at its PR, I think, because
I suppose. Look, the media is not helping.
No, of course not.
So as we all know, media goes for the hype. It goes for clickbait. They want to see people click and go to there. So unfortunately, the current way of worldwide the media is showing things around the world is not helping us.
No, it's not. And so tell us a little bit about where people typically stay, because I think my perception of that is slightly wrong. So it's good to.
Yeah. So from a camper point of view, when you rent a camper, the first thing you do when you collect your motorhome, you want to get out into the bushveld. You want to get out into the beautiful things that you want to come here from. You've got the game parks. You've got the nature. We have a world in one country from the high mountains to the flats to the plains. So depending on why the customer comes, obviously, the first time somebody comes to South Africa, it's all Kruger Park and those areas. So that's all the Johannesburg side. So the first thing they do, they get their motorhome, they get their provisions, and poof, off they go. And so they drive mainly the big roads, and they get to the Kruger Park, and they spend a week or so in the Kruger Park, and then they meander their way down. There's so much information on the internet for people that bring their own itineraries. We as a company, as Bobo Campers, are more than happy to supply you an itinerary, to advise you of where the campsites are, what to do for camping at night. We have a whole list of routes that we can propose to you. We even go to such an extent, but most of our big wholesale customers will already offer you a route and pre-book the campsites for you if you have to.
So if I'm in Kruger, for example, do they have designated camping areas?
Yes. So obviously, Kruger National Park has got their rules and regulations. It's all about conservation.
Yeah.
So they don't allow any wild camping or whatsoever in the Kruger Park.
Yeah.
You can imagine what chaos it will become.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how you're gonna light your braai outside in the middle of nowhere, Kruger Park. So I'm sure the lion will come and take you for his braai. So Kruger National Park is a conservation area. There's wild animals there. So when you're not inside a designated or a fenced-off park, you don't get out of your vehicle. You stay in your vehicle for your own protection.
Yeah, of course.
And then you have to go to a designated a park, which is fenced. And there are 30 odd in the Kruger National Park, and that's how you do your route. And at night you go there. The gates close at 6. There's even the times where you have to be in because the gates actually close. And then you stay inside the park and you camp. There's campsites, there's chalets, there's restaurants, there's shops.
And they have all the facilities for like getting rid of your grey water and your waste and
yes, they do.
Filling up.
Yeah, they do. Our campsites are a lot more simpler than they will be in the UK. Our rules are a little bit more relaxed regarding grey water. No, black water, of course, stays black water. You're going to empty your cassette. Most of our motorhomes, by far most motorhomes, are cassette toilets, so there's no holding tanks for that sort of
same as the UK.
Yeah. Grey water, our rental motorhomes don't have a grey water tank. So when you park on the campsite, the grey water just goes straight onto the floor. Yeah. It actually helps irrigation on the campsites. The campsites actually want it. So
makes sense.
Yes. So our regulations for grey water is definitely not as strict as in the UK. Yeah. So it actually makes life a lot easier.
Now, during the pandemic, there's been a massive boom in motorhome campervan purchases and rentals in the UK because people couldn't go on holiday.
Correct.
Have you had that same thing out here, or?
Yes, we've had an increase in sales for second-hand market.
Right.
So the used market had a massive increase. A lot of motorhomes were traded. Obviously, Bobo campers also sold some of their fleet. The fleet was standing still, so we did sell some of it. But we lucky as a group. For us to replenish our fleet is very simple and very easy.
Yeah.
But yes, we had it new as well. From a factory point of view, motorhome point of view, we've seen an increase in our exports. So we export a lot of our product goes to Australia. It's mainly on the 4x4 side, and we've seen a massive surge in our export into Australia, which is obviously good as well.
Yeah.
But also on the used market in South Africa. Not as much, a slight increase in new, but not as much.
Yeah. It must be such a different experience having a campervan out here, because like you say, you've got such a huge amount of country to explore. In September of last year, we did a trip up to Scotland. I live on the very south part of the UK.
Yeah.
So we did a trip up to Scotland, which is about as far as you can go, and that took us, probably if we drove consistently, it would have been about a 6 or 7 hour drive. So that's not going to get you very far here.
In South Africa now.
That's going to not even going to get you from Cape Town to Durban, probably, is it?
So no. Durban is a 15, 16 hour, 18 hour drive.
Yeah.
If you go around Lesotho.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So Joburg, the most direct route from Cape Town to Joburg is a straight line almost. It takes 15 hours.
Right. Wow. Okay. So can we go and have a look around some of your vans? Because I'm really interested to see how they differ and how they compare to the vans that we get in Europe.
Yeah. This is a typical rental unit.
Yep.
So from a factory point of view, the minimum that we make for the rental companies, and then for a private customer we can only go higher and more with options list. But this is the minimum we do.
So is this a rental?
This is a rental. It's a fleet camper. You'll see that each and every one of our fleet companies will actually have a name as well.
Okay, fantastic.
You see the name there, and every one has got their own name instead of just a number, which is so impersonal.
Yeah.
Every motorhome gets a name, and every name has got a connection to something of a discovery, of an explorer, or something inventor.
Yeah, fantastic.
Somebody that's made a difference. So
this is a 2-berther, I guess.
This is a 4-sleeper.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
This is a Discoverer 4. So this is a 4-sleeper, and then we do the 6 and the 2.
Okay. And how long is this? This is what, 7 meters?
6.9.
6.9. Okay.
6.9 meters in total. It's an Iveco with a 2.3 liter engine, automatic gearbox. So that's beautiful, of course.
Yeah, I have a manual.
Yeah, it just makes driving so much more easier. Because you're driving from the UK, you're obviously on the same side of the road, so that makes it easy already. But most of our customers come from Western Europe, which drive on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
So for them a lot of the people can get nervous. So the automatic gearbox just takes that.
Makes it so much easier.
It just puts that whole system out of your brain. It just makes it easy to focus on the line.
Yeah, I agree.
The white and the yellow line.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the most popular rental camper that you will find. So we have the most of a Discoverer 4.
Right.
The most we'll have. You'll see that you have your dinette at the back, which can form into a double bed.
Yep.
So the table comes down.
Yep.
I'm sure
It's very similar, to be honest.
it is. So most of the South African motorhome design and most of the layouts are all European based.
Yeah.
So it's nothing out of the ordinary. And a lot of people that come in here, they recognize the control panel, they recognize the stoves and the sinks.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's all the same stuff that they use in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Thetfords, it's Smiths, it's the Domestics,
Yeah.
it's the, you know, it's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Where we differ is we have an aircon and not a heater.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need the Truma heaters, we need the air conditioners.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've perfected a nice system to have a very powerful aircon inside the motorhome, but nothing sticking out on the outside.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, because your traditional aircons will sit on the roof, but then, you know, the first tree you drive under, that's a bit too low, and you have no more aircon for the rest of your holiday. So from a custom point of view, to make sure that nobody can damage anything, the aircon's always available and it can work. We have mounted it in the inside.
Very good.
So and some of them are heating cooling, but I think most of them are cooling only.
Yeah.
So we do have we do supply a loose heater if during the winter.
Okay.
You don't need it during the summer, but during the winter there's a loose heater that we can supply with.
Right.
So yeah, you have your seating area here, which forms into a bed, and obviously when you're two people, the 4-sleeper is ideal for two people because you leave your bed as it is as a bed. You don't have to make it up and things like that. And the front dinette area is still more than large enough
For sure.
for two people. So this also forms a double bed. There's a system that fold out. And there's one over there as well. And then there's a panel, obviously, that's in between. And then you have your double bed on this side.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And you have your table. And then
It's
seatbelt system.
surprisingly similar to.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it would be different particularly, but like you say, if it's a European market,
Yeah, well,
Kind of
if
thing.
you go to America, the look and the feel is different. If you go to Australia,
well, I guess that's why I was
the
thinking
look and the
that.
different. So the Australian and the and the US market are more closely linked in feel and shape and design than the Europeans. And the European South Africans are very similar.
Yeah.
And then Japan is again different.
Yeah.
Japan's a
always
lot
feel
more
like-
compact. There you got these compact motorhomes.
Yeah. I always feel like the US ones are inside are nowhere near as advanced as compared to the European.
It's
vans.
changing very quickly.
Yeah.
Changing very quickly. The first time I went to a big show in America was probably in 2007, 2008, and it was very much un-European like.
Mhm.
But it's changed rapidly.
Yeah.
The two markets are merging
Yeah.
in look and feel and touch and
Yeah.
emotion. You know, a camper and a motorhome is all about it's all about emotion. It's when you step in, it's the feel you get,
Yeah.
and it's really coming together.
And how long does it take you to convert to build a van like this?
Oh, it's 3 weeks.
Is it really?
Oh, but it's all preparation and things
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
it's for us on the assembly line. It's 3 weeks.
And that's the shower and the toilet,
Yeah.
I guess.
Just switch the light on. Yeah. So this is a wet room.
Yep.
So
Very
with
familiar.
I'm sure everybody recognizes the toilet. That's the toilet, sink, and then the actual tap
Becomes the shower.
comes the shower up there, and you got to mix the tap.
Fantastic.
So the geyser for warm water is on gas. So it's gas or 220. So for the hot water.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm sure that you're.
Yeah, it's actually quite a nice area in the shower. It works for swinging your elbows.
And can I ask you, if I was renting this for, say, a week or two, what would it cost me?
So at the moment, with the specials that we're giving out, because obviously it's not many people are coming through, it's better to look at our website.
Right,
All our
okay.
prices,
Well,
the
I'll
specials. We always update the website as first.
Yeah,
That's the first
I'll
thing
put
we
a
do.
link in the notes. to
Yeah,
your
put a
website,
link in and have a look there. It does change.
Sure.
And exchange rates for you guys also change. So what it's going to cost you 1 week might be different to the other week.
Luckily this time, luckily on this trip it was pretty good for
Yeah.
me, but I've been here before when it's been a lot lower. So and you know, you're absolutely right. And do you rent out camper vans as well as this?
So yes, so we do motorhomes. So there's even the 2-sleeper it's a coach build.
Right. Okay.
So it's not a panel van.
Yeah.
We don't have any panel vans on our fleet. So
Yeah.
we have a 2-sleeper, which is just a smaller coach build on a smaller vehicle. Then we do the Discoverer 4, which is on the Iveco.
Yeah.
And then the Discoverer 6, which is a 6-sleeper. So it has the alcove or the Luton.
Yeah.
So it's the same motorhome, just with the Luton.
Yeah.
And that's on the same vehicle, Iveco as well.
Fantastic.
And then on the 4x4 side, we have a couple of rooftop tents type of
Sure,
scenarios. So on double cabs and single cabs. But it's all rooftop tent.
So people who are renting the 4x4s will be the ones who want to get out.
Correct. That's more the Namibian market.
Right.
You know, there are some. South Africa is very much accessible by normal motorhome.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere. There's a couple of areas where you need a 4x4, but they really not many.
Yeah.
And in Namibia, you have more of those inaccessible 4x2 areas.
Yeah.
So people tend to go for the 4x4s.
Yeah. I've got the cheapest, crappiest rental car.
Ah.
This one's terrible, but in Durban, we
Yeah.
had the cheapest car, which I'd never do again, because when you see a sign that says potholes for the next 20 kilometres, then you know that you need to drive really carefully, and one mistake can wreck the...
But you do know what is the best 4x4?
No.
It's an Avis Golf.
Is it? Okay. I'll know the next time. Next, it was...
The Avis Golf that you rent, your rental car, is the best car to take anywhere you don't want to go. with your own car.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can imagine now, but that same goes true for our motorhomes. So the motorhomes do have a bit more abuse than your personal motorhome would be.
Yeah.
So we have learned through all these years how to build very solid, how to build very strong, to ensure that every customer that comes here and rents a motor from us gets a very good quality, good, clean motorhome.
Yeah,
it's very important. We need to keep them for an X amount of years. And we need to ensure that even a motorhome that's got a slightly more higher mileage still looks inside like it's really looked after.
And
so we've learned how not to do it.
Yeah, well, that's good, isn't it? That's what comes with running a business for however 30 odd years. And what's the water storage in this?
All right, so 60 liters of water, 70 liters of water. So we have an upgrade lately. So it's 70 liters of fresh water. Yeah. And then obviously you have your cassette toilet, which I believe is 8 or 9 liters. Yeah. And 70 liters, I believe, on the diesel tank. Yeah. But again, in South Africa, and even Namibia, your petrol stations or your fuel stations are more than plenty. Yeah, there's no reason for you to run ever out of fuel.
No. And it's much cheaper here than it is back in the UK at the moment.
Absolutely.
So, brilliant. That's really good to see in here. Thank you.
Yeah, so you got the fridges, just the standard straightforward. It's a compressor fridge.
Okay, that's good.
So the customers don't have to worry about leaving it level or not level. The vehicle does come with leveling blocks. Yeah. But the fridge at least it's not a absorption fridge. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about the perfect level. The fridge will always work.
That's good.
And then hanging closets everywhere. Big space.
Yeah, that is really good space, isn't it?
Yeah, so we do this for the option on a private motorhome. You can have an option for a nice big large fridge.
Yeah.
Rounded doors. We do keep up with design, your glasses, and we got nice round doors.
That's good. Yeah, it just feels a little bit more solid than a lot of the van that we've got, which was not a cheap van. It's 7.4 metre. We're just about to change it to a campervan. So, but it just doesn't feel as well made and solid as this does. That's the problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always say you can hang, our cupboards, the way we manufacture, you can hang an elephant in it. But you have to first get the elephant in.
You probably don't want to do that. That's fantastic.
So we do build them very, very strong to take any abuse if they do get.
That's really good. I think it's sort of inspired me to think next time we come here that we should hire a motorphone and go exploring. It's such
a more relaxed way of traveling. You're not living out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
That's what, if you do your B&Bs, which is beautiful, you rent a car, you do B&Bs. We have wonderful B&Bs around.
Yeah.
But you're living out of a suitcase and you're living out of a restaurant. You're not getting to experience the parks, our beautiful parks, where you can leave the gate, your campsite early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when they open the gates, and you go stand next to a water hole. You pick a water hole. and you reverse with that beautiful back view that we've got with almost 270-degree view.
Yeah.
And you take your time, you make breakfast, you make coffee, you can sit and relax. And the most beautiful thing of that is this: while you're eating this beautiful breakfast of yours, just look next door if somebody pulls in there and they have the thermos with their sandwiches, and you just go, I took the right choice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the highlights is just taking your time at a waterhole and waiting for nature to come to you. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you so much. That was really interesting to have a look around a campervan, motorhome in South Africa. And I hope that it has inspired anybody that's thinking about coming out here to look into hiring a campervan. It certainly inspired me. Well, I hope you found that as interesting to listen to as I did to actually interview Dennis. In next week's video, we're going to be looking at the manufacturing process and talking about the types of motorhomes they manufacture, what the process is like, and who they export them to. So make sure you join us next Sunday as we head out on the road again and spend some more time with Dennis at Bobo Campers and Motorhome World.